Spec Ops The Line. The story itself might be set in a war-torn Dubai, but it's the way the game forces you to confront some heavy questions about morality and leadership that makes it stand out. The gameplay, while still rooted in the traditional cover-based shooting mechanics, feels so much more engaging when you realize it's not just about killing enemies. It's about strategy and thinking on your feet. You're not alone in this, you got your squad with you, and you can actually command them in battle to help you out. That little bit of extra control over how things unfold makes the combat feel more tactical and satisfying. The use of the environment is awesome too. You'll see sandstorms roll in, wreaking havoc, and the city's ruins make for some really interesting cover choices that can change the dynamic of every fight. What's really cool, though, is how the game plays with the idea of choices and consequences. It's not just about shooting your way through enemies to the next checkpoint. Every action you take feels like it might come back to haunt you, and that adds some real emotional weight to everything you do. It's not every day a shooter makes you question if what you're doing is the right thing. And let's talk about the setting for a second. Sure, it's set in a fictionalized Dubai, but it's the sand and destruction that really set the tone. The city is in ruins, and it's like playing in an abandoned, post-apocalyptic version of a once glamorous place. The way sand is used as a tactical element adds a fun layer to the combat. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is the perfect way to swing into action and experience a whole new level of superhero excitement. Whether you're new to the world of Spider-Man or you're jumping back in, this remastered edition does an excellent job of refining everything that made the original so special. One of the things that really stands out is how seamless everything feels. From the moment you take control, you're thrust into a vibrant and bustling New York City, where every corner feels alive. The fluidity of swinging through the streets, navigating skyscrapers, and dodging traffic just feels so satisfying. There's something about the sense of freedom that comes with being Spider-Man that makes every little trip across the city a joy. You're not just getting from point A to point B, you're enjoying every second of the ride. Combat, too, has been tightened up in the remastered version. The web-slinging, wall-crawling, and acrobatic moves come together in a way that feels really natural. It's one of those games where you can get into a flow, chaining together punches, web shots, and takedowns almost like you're performing a dance. And when you throw in the variety of suits and upgrades, it keeps things fresh every time you face off against a new wave of enemies. And let's not forget about the co-op content. If you want even more action, there's DLC that introduces additional missions and new suits. Whether you're playing through the extra content or revisiting the main game, there's always something to keep you hooked. Assassin's Creed Odyssey takes everything you loved about the franchise and kicks it up a notch. It's not just about sneaking around and assassinating people anymore, it's about living out an epic adventure in ancient Greece. From exploring the massive open world to getting into thrilling combat, this game knows how to keep you hooked. Right off the bat, you get to choose between two characters, Cassandra or Alexios, each with their own voice and personality. This adds a nice touch of personal flavor to the experience. You're not just playing as a generic hero, you're stepping into the shoes of a Spartan mercenary trying to make your way through a world on the brink of chaos. One of the coolest parts is the freedom to make choices that actually matter. It's not just about following a set path. You get to shape the story in a way that feels natural and unique. Whether you're choosing dialogue options or making decisions on how to tackle missions, the game really lets you feel like you're in control of your journey. And there's a ton of side content, so you can go off the beaten path and get lost in the world. From hunting mythical creatures to conquering forts, there's always something to do. The combat system is a lot of fun. It combines traditional Assassin's Creed stealth with an all-out action RPG system. You can get creative with how you approach fights, whether you want to go full melee or use your bow and arrows from a distance. The game even gives you the ability to unleash special abilities, making combat feel fresh and exciting each time. Far Cry New Dawn takes everything you loved about the Far Cry series and gives it a whole new spin. Picture this: Hope County, Montana, years after a huge disaster, and nature has totally taken over. But don't think that means everything's peaceful and quiet. Nope. Instead, you're stepping into a vibrant, post-apocalyptic world where wild plants are blooming and danger is still lurking around every corner. Now imagine roaming through this colorful chaos, taking on enemies with a mix of brutal combat and creative weapons. It's got the typical Far Cry feel, but there's more of a twist here. This time, you're dealing with resource management in a world that's short on supplies. Crafting becomes a key part of survival, and hunting down resources becomes just as fun as hunting down your next target. You'll be collecting everything you can, from scrap metal to special materials, and turning them into whatever gear you need to keep the fight going. The game's combat is totally up to you. Whether you like to go full stealth, blowing up everything in sight, or getting in close with some brutal melee action, the world lets you play how you want. The RPG-style gear system makes it even more personal, as you'll need to level up your gear to match the ever-increasing challenges the game throws at you. Another cool part, expeditions. These missions are a break from the main game and take you to new locations with their own set of challenges and rewards. Fallout 4 is a game where you're just thrown into a world that's completely fallen apart, and it's up to you to make your own way through it. The game is like a giant playground filled with danger, mystery, and let's face it, a whole lot of junk to collect. You can spend hours just wandering around, exploring old buildings, picking up scrap to build something new, or finding new settlements to create a little piece of safety in the wasteland. And that's one of the coolest things about this game, how you can take a pile of junk and turn it into something useful, like crafting a powerful gun or even building your own house. It's all about getting creative with the resources around you. What makes the gameplay stand out is how much freedom it gives you. You're not just following a straight line from one mission to the next, you're in a world that's packed with side quests, hidden locations, and random encounters that you can stumble upon whenever. Want to help some settlers rebuild? You can do that. Feel like clearing out an old military base filled with raiders? Yep, that's totally your call. The best part? You don't need to do anything in a particular order. Just follow what catches your attention. Then, there's the combat. It's a nice blend of real-time action and strategic thinking. You can just go in guns blazing or use the tactical Vault-Tec assisted targeting system, VATS, to slow down time and target weak spots on enemies. It makes the combat feel fresh, and it's fun to mix up how you approach different situations. Resident Evil 5 really switches things up in the series, offering a whole new vibe that's more action-packed than ever before. Gone are the days of creeping through dark hallways with limited ammo and a sense of impending doom. Here, you're in the thick of it, guns blazing with a partner by your side, making things even more chaotic and fun. One of the standout features is the co-op gameplay. You're not just running solo through hordes of enemies anymore, you've got Shiva at your side, and she's not just an AI companion. Whether you're playing with a friend or having the AI control her, she's always there to back you up, providing that extra layer of strategy. There's something really satisfying about working together, covering each other's backs, and figuring out how to deal with the enemies that just keep coming. It's all about teamwork, and that keeps things fresh with every encounter. The combat is more fast-paced than in previous entries, and it's super satisfying. You're going to be shooting, dodging, and occasionally getting up close and personal with a good old-fashioned melee attack. The game's design pushes you to think quickly since you can't move while shooting, which definitely changes how you approach every fight. It's all about finding the right balance between offense and defense, and managing your inventory on the fly adds that extra layer of tension. Speaking of the inventory, it's pretty unique this time around. The grid-based system makes you prioritize what you carry. Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. This one's all about freedom. Total, chaotic, beautiful freedom. You get dropped into a living, breathing medieval world and basically handed the keys to do whatever you want. Ride across sprawling plains, join up with one of the many factions, or just start your own and see who's brave enough to challenge you. The best part is how naturally everything flows. Build a small warband, win some fights, grab some loot, and suddenly you're storming castle gates like it's just another Tuesday. The combat is crunchy and intense in the best way. You've got full control, whether you're swinging a sword, firing arrows from horseback, or smashing through shields with a massive axe. Battles can get massive too, with hundreds of soldiers clashing in real time. And there's just something so satisfying about lining up a cavalry charge and watching the impact from the front lines. There's also this really cool system where everything from trading to blacksmithing to diplomacy actually matters. You can make your living as a merchant, buying low and selling high across cities and villages, Or you can take the more aggressive route and become a raider, disrupting trade routes and causing all kinds of chaos. Either way, the economy responds to your actions. Prices shift, towns flourish or fall, and your reputation spreads whether you're helping or hurting. Building up your clan is another layer that makes the experience super addictive. Sons of the Forest. This one drops you into the wild with nothing but your instincts, a few supplies, and a whole lot of questions. It's pure chaos and creativity, with a sandbox full of trees to chop, gear to craft, and freaky things lurking in the woods. It's got that perfect blend of calm and oh-no energy that keeps every session feeling unpredictable in the best way. There's something super satisfying about building stuff here. You're not just clicking buttons. You're physically placing logs, snapping together walls, and shaping shelters that feel like your own little corner of safety. Whether it's a simple hut by the lake or a full-blown fortress on the hill, it all feels hand-built and earned. Then there's the survival element that doesn't feel punishing, just engaging. Managing hunger and health keeps things interesting without dragging everything down. It pushes you to explore, to find better resources, and to always stay a step ahead of whatever's creeping out there. That balance really works. It feels fair without ever being too easy. Companions in this one are something else. They don't just follow you around, they're actually helpful. One of them can't talk, but still ends up being a clutch ally. And another with some pretty unique traits turns out to be a wild card in the best way. They both make the whole experience feel less lonely, especially when things get tense. Multiplayer turns the whole thing up a notch. Once Human. This game drops you into a wild, chaotic world where everything's gone off the rails in the best way possible. The entire environment feels like it's trying to mess with you, and that's what makes it so addictive. Every corner holds some kind of weird surprise, and instead of just surviving, you end up doing all sorts of cool stuff like collecting bizarre weapons, crafting strange gear, and building your dream base in the middle of absolute madness. There's this awesome sense of freedom. You're not tied down by rigid paths or strict goals. One minute you're chopping trees, next you're customizing a flamethrower with sci-fi flair, and after that you're moving your entire base like it's a pop-up shop. The game lets you pick up your whole setup and plop it down somewhere else, like no big deal. That kind of flexibility keeps everything fresh. The creatures roaming around are just straight up bizarre in a good way. Fighting them never feels boring. It's not just about pulling the trigger. It's about staying alert, experimenting with gear setups, and sometimes running for your life in the most dramatic way possible. And when things calm down, that's when the builder brain kicks in. You start placing walls, laying down traps, customizing every corner of your space like you're prepping for the apocalypse in style. Then there's the crafting. The variety is huge. You've got all these weapon blueprints, and messing around with attachments and perks can easily eat up hours. There's always a better combo to discover, and the process itself feels satisfying. V-Rising takes the survival genre to a whole new level, mixing intense action, base building, and of course, the thrill of being an all-powerful vampire. You start as a freshly risen vampire, hungry for power, and it's up to you to carve out your place in a vast, dangerous world. It's not just about surviving, it's about thriving, taking down enemies, and building a castle that reflects your dark nature. The gameplay is pretty addictive. From the moment you get started, you'll find yourself diving into resource gathering and crafting. Whether you're collecting materials for your next big upgrade or hunting down creatures to fuel your bloodlust, there's always something to do. And it doesn't just stop there. As you grow stronger, the real fun begins. Building your castle. It's like your personal fortress, and you get to decide how it looks, where everything goes, and how much power you want to wield. Every new addition to your castle makes you feel more and more like the ruler you're destined to be. Combat is fast-paced and satisfying, especially when you start unlocking new abilities. You'll need to dodge, strike, and plan your next move as you take on enemies. Each fight feels different depending on your approach and the powers you've chosen to harness. It's not just about smashing your way through enemies, it's about strategy and timing, which keeps the gameplay feeling fresh. The variety of biomes and enemies adds to the excitement. The Quarry drops you into the thick of a summer camp turned nightmare, and it's exactly the kind of spooky thrill you want when you're in the mood for some edge-of-your-seat horror. You control 9 counselors,
each with their own personality and quirks, and they're all just trying to survive the night in a place where things definitely aren't as they seem. The game is all about choices. You make decisions that determine who lives, who dies, and who ends up making it to the end of the night. Every move you make matters, and you'll quickly find yourself second-guessing every decision, from the way you speak to other characters to the paths you choose to take. There's this great sense of tension as you juggle relationships with the other characters, trying to keep everyone alive while navigating all the dangers lurking in the shadows. Quick-time events keep things intense. When you're rushing to escape or fighting for your life, one wrong button press could be the difference between making it out and, well, not making it out. It's a fun challenge that keeps you on your toes and adds some real weight to the action. These moments are balanced by quieter, more reflective scenes where you can explore the campgrounds and uncover clues that piece together the mystery of what's really going on. It's a nice break from the chaos and gives you a chance to dig deeper into the story. What really sets the game apart is its replayability. Darksiders 3 takes the franchise in a bold new direction, shaking things up while still keeping that familiar energy fans love. This time, we're stepping into the boots of Fury, one of the 4 horsemen, as she hunts down the 7 deadly sins. If you've enjoyed the previous titles, you'll find yourself getting into a rhythm with this one, but there's enough of a twist to keep it feeling fresh. One of the coolest things here is how Fury evolves throughout the game. She can shift between elemental forms, each giving her a new set of moves and abilities. And this keeps the gameplay exciting because each time you unlock a new form, you feel like you're tapping into something completely new. It's all about mixing up combat, exploration, and puzzle solving in ways that feel pretty seamless. The combat system is super satisfying, but it's not about button mashing. It's about being smart, dodging, and timing your attacks. You can't just rush in swinging, especially since some of the enemies will make you rethink your approach. It's more strategic, and that's a good thing. Boss fights are intense, and they really push you to stay on your toes. Each encounter feels like a mini puzzle where you have to figure out the right moves and strategies to get through it. Exploration is another highlight. The world in Darksiders 3 is full of hidden areas, tough enemies, and puzzles that reward you for paying attention. It's the kind of game where the more you explore, the more you'll find. Dragon Age Inquisition is one of those games that hits you with a huge world to explore, a ton of characters to meet, and plenty of choices to make that genuinely matter. The game puts you in the shoes of a leader who's got to pick up the pieces in a world that's pretty much falling apart, and it does so in a way that's just so satisfying. It's not your average RPG. It's packed with so much depth and detail that you'll always find yourself lost in its sprawling landscapes and endless opportunities for discovery. The combat is one of those things that blends action with strategy in a way that feels really rewarding. You can jump into real-time action, but there's always that option to pause and plan out your next move. It's like a mix between playing it fast and furious and being the mastermind behind the scenes. Everything feels in your control, whether you're rushing into battle or setting traps and commands for your crew. Plus, you've got a squad of cool characters to help out, each with their own unique abilities, so you're not doing all the work yourself. The world itself is massive and full of variety. There's always something around the corner, from hidden treasures and side quests to sudden battles and world events that make it feel like the world is constantly shifting. The areas are massive too, so it never feels like you're stuck in one location for too long. The regions each have their own feel, and the way the game lets you explore them at your own pace is a blast. Thief 2014 takes you straight into a world where shadows are your best friend, and every step you take can either make or break your next big score. Picture yourself as a master thief, sneaking through dark, gritty streets and grandiose mansions, always on the lookout for the next shiny object or treasure that might just be waiting to be pocketed. The game gives you all the tools to pull off heists in the most satisfying way possible, but it's all about how you use them and, more importantly, how well you can avoid getting caught. The stealth in this game isn't just a mechanic, it's the heart of the experience. You're constantly moving from shadow to shadow, and there's this real satisfaction in slipping past guards without making a sound. You can use a variety of tools to help you get the drop on people or just get out of sticky situations. Want to distract a guard? There's a noise arrow for that. Need to create an escape route? The grappling hook can help you climb to higher ground and get out of sight. It's all about planning your moves carefully, but the best part is that you can approach each mission in your own way. The whole vibe of the game is built on being a sneaky, silent figure in a city full of dangers, and the game does a great job of giving you the freedom to do just that. Whether you're crouching in a corner waiting for the perfect moment to move, or using your focus mode to highlight all the interactive elements around you, you never feel forced into one way of doing things. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. The best part about this game is the freedom it offers. You can literally use anything around you as a weapon. Want to grab a lawnmower and mow down some zombies? Go for it. Or maybe you want to throw a shopping cart at a group of them. That's definitely an option. It's all about getting creative with how you deal with the undead hordes. The game does a fantastic job of letting you experiment with different weapons and strategies to keep things fresh and exciting. There's also something really fun about the sense of urgency the game gives you. It's not just about surviving. You've got a timer ticking down, and there's always this feeling that you're racing against the clock. Whether you're rescuing survivors or looking for clues, the constant pressure keeps you on your toes, and it makes everything feel way more intense. The remaster does a great job of making everything smoother, too. You've got modernized controls, so it's easier to aim and shoot, plus the AI for the survivors has been improved, so they're actually a bit more helpful than in the original. The photojournalism aspect is also more intuitive now, so you can snap some great shots of the chaos happening around you, which is both fun and rewarding. One of the coolest features is the way the game lets you save your progress. In the past, you had to rely on save points, but now you've got auto-saving and more save slots, which makes things way less stressful. Still Wakes the Deep takes you on a wild ride aboard a deserted oil rig in the middle of the North Sea. Now picture yourself in a creepy, isolated place with strange forces at play. It's just you, a couple of tools, and the vast, eerie space you're trying to survive in. You'll be navigating through tight corridors and dark rooms, trying to stay one step ahead of whatever's lurking out there. The game focuses on atmosphere more than anything, and it nails it. You'll find yourself piecing things together with limited resources, keeping a sharp eye out for anything that could be helpful, or worse, a trap. There's no combat to rely on, so your best move is always staying hidden or figuring out how to outsmart the threats you face. Every step matters when you're stuck in a place where every creak, every shadow could be something far worse than just your imagination. Exploring the rig feels like uncovering layers of a mystery. There's always something new to discover, whether it's hidden paths or objects that make the whole experience feel like a puzzle. And let's talk about the environment. It's pretty impressive how the rig reacts to everything that's going on around you. As things start to get worse, the environment shifts. What was once a safe path could be blocked off, or an area you thought you knew might turn into a maze you have to navigate. One of the standout features has to be how the game integrates cultural details. The Scottish Gaelic language options aren't just a gimmick, they add a real layer of authenticity to the game. Watch Dogs Legion takes the classic open-world action game formula and flips it on its head with a twist that's fresh, fun, and full of possibilities. Instead of playing as a single protagonist, you get to recruit and play as almost anyone you meet in the city. That's right. Every NPC can be your ally, each with their own set of skills, quirks, and even personal backstories. This creates a gameplay experience where you're not just taking on missions with one character, but a whole range of people, each adding their flavor to the story. What's really fun is how the game lets you dive into all the different personalities scattered across the streets of London. One moment you could be sneaking around as a tech-savvy hacker, and the next, you're running full speed with a construction worker who's got some serious brawn and a powerful tool set. It's kind of like creating your dream team, but instead of just one character you're stuck with, you can swap out whoever you need at any time. It's kind of like having an all-star squad with a rotation policy. Of course, the game doesn't just leave you in a sandbox to mess around. There's still a lot of structure with missions that keep you hooked. Whether you're hacking a drone, infiltrating a high-security area, or simply trying to outsmart the city's oppressive forces, the game never feels stale. Every character brings their own strengths, making even the most routine tasks feel a bit more exciting and dynamic. The beauty of this system is the freedom it offers. Persona 5 Royal. You're diving into the life of a high school student who's not just dealing with the usual teenage drama, but also taking on corrupt hearts in a mysterious alternate world. And while that sounds intense, the game makes it feel like a fun, ongoing adventure. The beauty of it lies in the balance. You'll spend time going to school, building friendships, working part-time jobs, and even just hanging out with your friends in various Tokyo locations. It's all about managing your time wisely, trying to juggle these daily life activities while also tackling some pretty serious stuff in the metaverse. And when you're not doing that, you'll be heading into dungeons where your turn-based combat skills are put to the test. It's all about making smart decisions, choosing the right abilities, and of course, collecting and fusing personas to boost your powers. One of the coolest things here is how much the game lets you customize your playthrough. The characters you choose to bond with impact the abilities and skills you'll develop, which keeps things fresh throughout. And speaking of fresh, the game adds a ton of new content, including new characters and a whole third semester that expands the story in exciting ways. If you've played the original, the additions are a real treat and make the game feel even more packed. The strategic combat in the game is also a blast. It's not just about mindless button mashing. You really have to think about your next move, whether you're exploiting enemy weaknesses or making the most of your limited resources. Amnesia Rebirth is one of those games that really knows how to keep you on edge in the best way possible. It leans fully into that feeling where every dark corner feels like it could be hiding something, and every creaking sound makes you second-guess your next step. The way it blends exploration with pure nerve-twisting tension is such a cool balance, especially for anyone who enjoys games that mess with your mind as much as your reflexes. The clever part is how it constantly plays with fear, not just by throwing creepy things at you, but by making you work with light and shadows in a way that feels supernatural. There's this fun little challenge of managing your limited light sources, keeping your head clear, and trying not to lose your grip on reality while navigating places that are absolutely designed to unsettle you. It keeps the pace interesting, making even simple exploration feel like a big deal. What makes the whole experience even better is how it swaps out the usual combat for survival formula for something that focuses more on clever movement, hiding, and problem solving. The way you have to stay sharp and outthink what's lurking around rather than outgun it really adds to the excitement. It's one of those games that proves horror doesn't need to rely on cheap tricks or constant action to get your pulse racing. The puzzles scattered throughout feel like just the right kind of brain teaser too. Monster Hunter Wilds is the latest addition to the iconic action RPG franchise, and it's absolutely packed with everything fans love about the series, plus a few exciting new twists. And this game takes things up a notch with its sprawling new world, filled with wild creatures and unpredictable environments. What's awesome about this one is that it truly focuses on the thrill of the hunt and the adventure of discovering new areas and monsters without overwhelming players. One of the cool new features is the ability to focus on specific monster body parts during hunts. This isn't just a cosmetic thing. Damaging the right spot can make a big difference in how you tackle a fight. Whether you're taking down limbs or trying to go for the weak spots, the combat feels more dynamic, adding a new layer of strategy to the gameplay. You'll also be using the new Sacred mount, which lets you carry 2 weapons at once. It's a game changer when you're up against some of the bigger, more menacing beasts. Oh, and don't forget the Slinger tool. It's been revamped, so you can grab items and use them creatively, including setting off environmental hazards. It's those little touches that make the gameplay feel fresh and exciting. The weather and time of day systems are another cool addition. They actually affect how monsters behave, so a hunt at night feels totally different from one during the day. Plus, the dynamic environment keeps you on your toes, making every mission feel like a new challenge.